Before we actually call the meeting to order, I'd like to extend a personal, heartfelt thank you and in all humility to this community for the support you've shown to me and my family over the last week with a very challenging situation, obviously. I appreciate your support. I appreciate the support of this court, all the people I work with, our team here in the fiscal court, and the community overall. It's just been outstanding. But you know what? That's why I love this community. That's why that I'm proud to call this community home, is because we do step up and we do help people when they're going through challenging times. So for all the prayers that have been lifted up, for all the texts that you sent me, for all the condolences that you sent, I want to say thank you to this community for doing so. I appreciate it and I'm humbled by it. And I would ask for your continued prayers for our family, especially my children, and as we move forward. So I just want to say thank you to all of you all. With that, we will call the meeting to order for the fiscal court regular meeting for March 10th. Let us all stand for the Pledge of Allegiance, please. Pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
For announcements this evening, the first thing is this afternoon I issued an executive order for a burn ban. Emergency management had reached out to me and they had been in discussions with some of the volunteer fire departments and other folks in the community and felt that this was an appropriate action to take given the current circumstances with the dry weather and then with the projected winds that are coming in the next few days. So please help us get this word out that we do have a burn ban in place, effective immediately, and then we will obviously notify once conditions improve as to when that ban can be lifted. But this would ban any outdoor burning in our community. So please help us get that message out.
Is that 24/7 ban?
That's correct. Yeah.
24/7.
The state burn law is usually a 6P to 6A. That's the state law. This isn't actually a burn ban for our community, and other communities have done this as well in recent days just because of the conditions. So, but this is a total burn ban for our community. Want to update a few things related to the flood. Obviously, we're still moving through the process. We were notified recently that Johnson County has been included and approved for public assistance and individual assistance from FEMA. That's key. That's critical to this community to have that. I want to thank all the folks who have been involved with that and meeting with FEMA and explaining our circumstances in our community and how that people have been impacted adversely and how that we need to be included in this. I think we always felt that the public assistance piece, probably we would always be included in that because we do have some significant projects within the county of damages on public assets. But it was the individual assistance, I think, that's where that we had to make sure that we did a lot of work. We had a team of people that went out and did surveys of properties that we were notified of to determine their level of damage, and we're continuing to work through that process. But it's important that we have been included in the federal declaration because that does make resources and support available to not only us and all other agencies like utilities and governments, but also now for individuals who have been impacted. So it's really important that we were included for individual assistance. So that process is ongoing. You'll see some additional things as we move through that process in the coming days. One thing I did want to mention, if you look on the screen over there, we have a local, as I've talked to you about, Johnson County Community Foundation, which has been in place for a couple of years now. But they have been the recipient of funding for flood relief for residents in Johnson County, and they're currently accepting applications for those that have been impacted by the flood. So please help us get that message out. Round 1 is going to end by noon on this Wednesday, and we're doing that in order to expedite the process so that folks can get, if they qualify for assistance, then they can get those support checks out to them as quickly as possible as folks try to recover. This is additional support from within our community, and that was one of the purposes of the Community Foundation, is to be that resource for folks in our community who might need assistance, not just from floods, but for other things that may happen in our community, but it gives folks an outlet. And so we already had some funding that was left over from previous disasters, but we also received additional funding from this disaster, and so the Community Foundation is working to distribute those funds to the qualified applicants. So, Judy, I guess we posted, that flyer's posted, correct?
It is. It's on social media. It's on the radio.
Okay, yeah, Adam did a PSA for us, I think. Thank you, Adam, for doing that. But it's posted online on social media, so please go there if you know folks who have been impacted, to go on there and apply to see if they would qualify for assistance. Just another way we can help our people.
Is that number 2140?
2260.
2260.
2260.
Yeah, that's the
Get
office.
prescription changed there, too.
That's the office number for emergency management. That's
Okay.
the business office line for emergency management. And the reason being is because the process is such that if they call in and want to apply for support from this program, emergency management knows the locations and the addresses of all the folks who we have known, right, Paul, that have been impacted?
We had 6 calls today.
Okay. So, but that allows the process for emergency management to verify that that was an impacted location before it moves on through the
You
process.
said that is posted on all of our, like, emergency management pages, Facebook, all that stuff?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. The next item is also flood-related, and that is the Invest 606 Flood Relief Grant. This is through the Foundation for Appalachian Kentucky. Judy, I'll have to get you to kind of explain this a little bit. Is this for residents or businesses?
This is for businesses.
Okay,
Johnson County is one of the designated counties.
Okay. I don't know business-wise what we have had impact in this community, but nevertheless, this is, again, another opportunity to support a business that might have been impacted in our community. But anyway, that's through the Foundation for Appalachian Kentucky as well. That's all I had on the flood relief update. One thing I wanted to mention also is we are kicking off, as of today, the 2025 Anti-Littering Student Art Contest, which we do every year with our Solid Waste Commission, which does a great job of helping promote education with anti-littering. And that program begins today, and the deadline for submittals is March the 28th. That also is available through our social media to get details as well. And all the schools have been advised also of this program so that the teachers can also help facilitate students who want to participate in this. We usually have pretty good participation in this, and you can see that we allow folks at all ages to participate on different types of submittals. So it's just another way to help educate and help bring attention to our goals, obviously, of trying to help folks understand personal responsibility with respect to solid waste and trash in our community, and that obviously the better job we do, the better community we have. So this is just another way to do that. So please help us spread that word also. The last item I have on the announcements for this afternoon is, as the court is aware, we have been supportive of a shad fish stocking program at Paintsville Lake over the last 2 years, and Chris Ferguson, James Melvin is here representing Anglers for Improved Opportunities. We have done this in partnership with Paintsville Tourism in the past 2 years. And it was always planned, I think, gentlemen, to be a 3-year program, assuming the program was successful. And it has been, I think, proven successful for 2 years. I think there was some concern about cold temperatures and whether or not the shad fish would survive, but I believe we have evidence that they have, correct? And so it helps us with recreation for our people, for our folks here. It also helps with economic development because we're trying to bolster our fishing opportunities at Paintsville Lake, and so it's just another way to help us economically in our community as well as help our residents. So I don't have I don't know what the amount is. Do you all have the amount of what the?
I think 7,500 we split with tourism.
Yeah, it's a total of 15,000, right? 15,000. How many shad fish do you stock?
50,000
Roughly 50,000 shad fish. Now, what's interesting is and I hope that you're reading online because they post quite a bit of information in there online about this. But it's interesting because they were have been dropped in at 2 different locations, I think, at the lake. But they have basically found themselves to have migrated all over the lake, which is what we wanted. So it would be my recommendation to the court that we go ahead and support this 3rd year of this plan for the shad fish because it has proven to be effective in the lake.
Is
So,
there any, after that, I guess, is it just a touch and go, we were kind of expecting 3 years though, right? That was the whole,
Yeah, 3 years is what our goal was. They
Right.
had the 3 years combined with shad stocking, but after that, then we will be our participation getting the blessing to the Kentucky Fish and Wildlife. So, and it's made a huge difference. I mean, we're winning at Paintsville Lake because Bryce and Bo McDonald just, last fall, James, in December, correct me if I'm wrong, they had their record catch at Paintsville Lake. One was 8, and the other was a 7-something. Yeah, so we're winning out there because we're feeding them and they're getting fat.
yeah.
So.
People wanna go.
Hey, it's just like us, you know, but, it's winning. And,
Yeah.
I will say that, it's made a big difference, and we want to thank you all for allowing us to have this program and funding it. It's been successful. And another year of this will really help Paintsville Lake more than we all know, 5 years down the road.
Yeah.
It's going to put it on that.
Can
And,
the anglers help us to get like some tourism ideas to help promote tourism too, as well as the fishing? And
Uh,
I'd like to see them come in together and us all do something like that too to make tourism better. Not just the fish, but everything out
Well,
there.
to give you a touching on that with Casting for Kids, I'll do the numbers on it, and Mark and I have talked about this, and I think Casting for Kids brings in this community somewhere in a year's time around $300,000.
I love that.
So we bring in that to the table, Casting for Kids. So I'll tell you an example. I've got a classic tournament going on in Casting for Kids this year, and we're having to go to Dayton, Tennessee. Well, I've got a $100,000 tournament, one of the biggest in the nation, going on in Chickamauga with the Classic. Why can't we put it on at Paintsville Lake? But I've got to get the lake built up to do that. And that's where our goal is.
And we'll be able to host other tournaments as well, which is, again, there's dollars assigned to these folks who participate, and it's economic benefit, it's tourism, because, when they come to the community, they come for that, but they usually bring folks with them who do other things within our community.
A lot of people from Tennessee and around the tri-state areas fell in love with this area, coming to Casting for Kids, and they're coming back. And the kids tournament, if you put it in there, the equation, how many people's out there, that's more money you just add on to this tourism thing.
Yeah.
And we've got to have it where we can catch them. Thank you all for supporting this last 2 years. And on another note, Casting for Kids Boardwalk, I will share with you all, thank you all for supporting that. You don't know how big this has been with having that boardwalk and what you've done, because Yatesville, I went and looked at marking one off last week at Yatesville with the county, the judges, everybody down there involved. So they're going to start one. The Kentucky Fish and Wildlife Commissioners contacted me about putting one at Cave Run. So Paintsville Lake was the first one on the boardwalks, and thanks to you all approving that grant at that time, you got to be proud of that. I just want to say.
Yeah, it's great.
Tourism. If you check our Facebook page out, you go back and look through the catches that were made in December, there was, I believe, 2 8-pounders, if I remember correctly, roughly about 4 or 7-pound bass. When you put those on that Facebook page, if I remember correctly, our Facebook page had like 2,100 followers right now. So when those people see that, those are people that are interested in fishing. They don't necessarily don't live next door to us. There is a group being started, or looking into starting one in Illinois, like us, because of what we've done here. And so those people, when they see those bass, they're going to want to come here and fish. So and down the road, we're hoping to get the F1s in. Even if we don't get the F1s, with what we're doing with the shad, we've increased the size of the fish, the health of the fish, and the fish population is more sustainable to having those tourists come in than it ever was. As I told you, Kentucky came to fish, I used to fish Paint Creek before Paintsville Lake was ever there. So I guess that tells my age. But there was smallmouth, there was rock bass, there were largemouth in there, and I have fished Paintsville Lake from the first day they shut the gates and started holding water. Paintsville Lake has never been in good a shape, fishery-wise, as it is right now. It's the best I've ever seen.
it's good.
It's good to know.
And that's thanks to you guys.
With that, I would entertain a motion to approve the support again this year at $7,500 for the shad fish stocking.
Make that motion.
Motion by Commissioner Gerald. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Click. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? We appreciate all you all do. Thanks for.
Thank you.
And if you don't track their Facebook page, I assure you, Fish and Wildlife in Frankfort know exactly who they are and who Paintsville, Johnson County is.
And they'll know March the 14th who we are again, because we're going down there to fight for F1s.
Yep.
So,
Thank you all. Appreciate it. We would now entertain a motion to approve the minutes from our regular meeting on February 10th and our special call meeting on February 21st, assuming there's no changes to be made to those.
I make that motion.
Motion by Commissioner Click. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Shire. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Next is a presentation of the monthly bills. You have a claims report as well as some additional individual bills. And we would entertain a motion to approve those as well.
I make a motion.
Motion to approve by Commissioner Sayers, or second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Gerald. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Next is approval of transfers and financials for the fiscal court.
Make that motion.
Motion by Commissioner Click. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Salyer. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Next on the agenda is to open and approve a bid for a generator at the animal shelter. This is where we are participating in a hazard mitigation grant program with support from FEMA through their hazard mitigation program. We had this out for bid previously. We only received one bid. We were advised to put it back out again. Trinity is here in the front row. She's with ER Assist, who is our grant manager for this project, and we did receive one bid.
Actually, you did receive 3 on
Okay,
this,
I'm sorry.
so here's these, you can pass them out.
Okay.
Here's these 3 on, there should be 3 on.
Oh, I
So,
thought you, I'm sorry.
oh no, I see it. I'm sorry, I was just looking. And reason being is we have a hard copy that was delivered to our office, but we also allowed them to submit online through the portal system that ER Assist utilizes for submittals of bidding, correct, Trinity?
Yes, that's correct.
So that's why we received the one today, but it looks like we did receive three bids. So Trinity, you want to summarize those for us?
I sure can.
Thank you.
All right, for the Johnson County Animal Shelter Generator, we have received 3 bids. The total bid price for A-Plus Contractors LLC is going to be $67,000. For Boyd Cat, it is going to be $51,228. And then for Southern Solar and Electrical, it will be $44,948.48. That does include all 3 of the line items that you see below on your document.
And just for public information, those line items are the generator itself, the automatic transfer switch, and the installation of the system. As we have done in the past, obviously there was a lot of specifications associated with this bid. So it'd be my recommendation that we would approve the low bid, subject to review by our grant managers for compliance with the bid specifications. And if they are compliant, then we move forward with the low bidder, would be my recommendation to the court. We've been working on this for some time. As you all are aware, our animal shelter loses power quite often during storms out there, and this would certainly, we've been trying, just temporary out there in years past, but this would give us a more sustainable.
That don't need to be open with this.
No, it's on this list. They just happen to submit it in person. They could do either one. They could do online or
So
in
that
person.
one's on here.
That
right?
one is the Boyd Cat.
Gotcha.
Yep. But anyway, that would be my suggestion, is to approve the lowest bid subject to review of compliance with the bid specifications.
I make a motion, we approve the lowest bid.
Motion by Commissioner Salyer. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Gerald. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, we'll let you stay there, Trinity, because the next one is associated with you as well. We put out a request for proposals for C&D cleanup, which is construction and debris from the flood event, where folks that have been had their properties damaged, they can place those items on the roadside to be picked up and disposed of properly. We put out a request for proposals. We had a scoring committee that scored those proposals based on experience and a few other factors, but then there was also a mathematical formula associated with their cost that they had as well. So the Based upon that, the recommendation was to move forward with STP Trucking for this particular C&D cleanup based on the scoring. So I guess the first action would be for item 8 would be to approve STP Trucking as the contractor for the C&D flood debris cleanup.
Is 8 and 9 two different?
9 is a contract, 8 is a contractor.
Oh,
So,
2 letters makes a difference.
so we're approving the contractor in item 8 based on the scoring of the proposal. And then item 9 would be actually an approval of the contract with that individual. The reason I'm doing those in that sequence is so that we can go ahead and move forward, because we've asked the residents to place all of their items on the roadside by March 31st, so the contractor can start picking those up April 1st. So this allows us to go ahead and get a contract in place, because the contractor has to respond within 24 hours once they get a notice to proceed from us. So, but it would not be sooner than April 1st, because we wanted our residents to have this time to do their mucking and clean out and removal of damaged items and get them to the roadside. So I guess the first one would be to approve the contractor for C&D cleanup, which would be STP Trucking.
Make that motion.
Motion by Commissioner Salyer. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Click. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? STP Trucking is a Johnson County business, by the way. We also would now, under item 9, approval of the contract. You have a draft of that in front of you. This is a contract that, this standard contract we've used in the past with C&D cleanup, but this is for, obviously, with STP Trucking. We just need approval of this contract. It does indemnify the county from any actions associated with fulfillment of this contract, and it does have a maximum amount on there, but there's also a per unit cost associated with it. But there is a maximum amount as well. But all of this is reimbursable per FEMA guidelines. So we just need a motion to approve that contract.
Make that motion.
Motion by Commissioner Gerald. Do we have a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Click. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you. Appreciate it, Trini. Thanks for your time. Item 10 is approval of a resolution, agreement, and amendment with KYTC for the Industrial Park Road Bridge Improvement. I mentioned this at our last meeting, that we had been awarded through the CCBIP, which is the County City Bridge Improvement Program that the legislature and the governor put in place at the last session. We applied in round 1 to improve the bridge industrial park, or as we all know it, the bridge going to the former American Standard. That bridge is 370 feet long. It's by far the largest bridge within the county system, but it also is in need of some upgrades. It was identified through the bridge inspection by KYTC, who inspects all county bridges that are over 20 feet in length, that bridge was in need of some upgrades. The bridge is not going to fall. I want to make that clear. It's not that type of situation. We're simply trying to get ahead of it, but we put in a request for $1,100,000 for that, and we were chosen out of that first round, which I'm very pleased that we were chosen. I think the next highest choice was, I think, about $700,000, so we were the highest award during round 1 of the CCBIP program. But in order to move forward, we need to approve this resolution, the agreement, and then an amendment to this project with KYTC.
Make that motion.
We have a motion by Commissioner Click. Do we have a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Salyer. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Next is associated with the Opportunity Center. I said at the last meeting that we would take a look, that the county attorney and I would take a look at the contractual obligations associated with this project. Let me say this about the project. The project has been ongoing for nearly 2 years. This is not a new project. I want to make that clear. And it is a project that I believe was effective. I think it helped folks who needed help. I think it continues to help folks who need help. Do I believe the need in this community has been met 100%? I do not, because as long as we exist, we will always have this need. It's just that simple. However, the circumstances over the last few months, when you're dealing, in my opinion, when you're dealing with a community need of this level, I think you've got to have everybody pulling in the same direction. We thought we were pulling in the same direction. We found out recently we are not pulling in the same direction with our other counterparts with city government. That's fine, that's their decision, but it also impacts this program. But I do believe there's still a need out there. How that need will be met, I guess, is to be determined. But I gave you all a copy of the agreement with Addiction Recovery Care that's been in place since January of '24. Again, emphasis, not a new project. It's been in place since 2024, but it does afford the opportunity after 1 year for either party to issue a notice of termination with 90 days notice. That allows time for folks that are affected by this to be relocated, to be taken care of, to be cared for as they should be, and it allows opportunity to do so. Sherry McKenzie and I have been texting today about this project, and she has been very involved, and I want to say thank you to all the people, because I named the partners in the last fiscal court meeting of all the people that have put time and effort into trying to help those folks at that facility over there. And I would in no way minimize their efforts because it has been overwhelming. I gave you a list of organizations. I gave you a list of people that were affected, that have been affected in a positive way by this program. So I want to say thank you to them. I want to say thank you to all the folks in the community who have supported. It's just unfortunate at this point that we've reached this, but Sherry and I have been texting this afternoon. She and I have been longtime friends, and so she's very very respectful and very understanding. But Sherry, if there's anything you'd want to share in addition, you're welcome to do so.
I'm going to have to.
Absolutely.
I came to support them, and that's what I'm going to do.
Absolutely.
We have a petition for 749, and we got 3 out. We have spoken with many of these businesses in this area, and they are not the problem. We've got 4 with jobs. We've got 3 sets that are getting homes. We have 3 new interns with ARC. Do I think ARC is 100% no? But I have a stepson that went there 8 years ago and has been clean 7.5 years. So yes, they are effective. I leave those people distraught today.
Yeah.
We have 1 on oxygen, waiting on disability with nowhere to go until his disability comes through. We have 2 in wheelchairs. We have an older gentleman there. This is not just ARC. You know, this is a warming center that we needed. And I'll be honest with you, I don't know how anybody cannot be for this. I don't know what people think by putting them back on the street or whatever is going to help this situation, but it is not. I have seen the effects. They go to church every Sunday morning. We have service with them every Saturday night. We feed them on Tuesdays. ARC feeds them the other times of the week. And we have grown to love these people. They're like our family. And it breaks my heart. I'll just be honest with you. That some of them, they're still trying to find places for these people to go today. And they're pacing. They're just pacing because they don't know what to do.
And Sherry and I we texted this afternoon about that, and I'm sorry for the I won't say miscommunication, but the inability to ease their circumstances, because ARC is committed. They called our office last week. I wasn't available, but they called our office last week and asked, because they are going to find proper placement for every one of these individuals. That's the reason we built in the 90-day notification, so that could happen either way. But unfortunately, until this court takes an action to terminate this agreement, and then they receive that, then obviously that gives them the guidance to move forward with proper relocation. I do know they're already internally working on that, but they just simply have not, can't complete that process. Do I believe that they will place them properly? I do believe they will. They will find them a place, that's appropriate for their circumstances. But I would echo what Sherry had to say as well, is that it has been an effective program. The need will continue as long as we are in existence in this community. The need will continue. How that need gets met is what is yet to be determined.
They have curfews at 10 o'clock at night. They're not allowed out. So it's not
Correct.
Out in the streets at night.
Yeah, it is a supervised, as we've said all along, it's a supervised staff 24/7 program. Would you care to identify it?
I would ask, sorry, my name is Susan King. Oh, with Sherry.
Okay, that's fine. Just for the court, I just wanted you to identify who you were.
I wanted to ask you, you were saying that ARC was replacing everyone. What about the ones, I talked to a man Saturday night that has been clean for 5 years and has nowhere to go. He was there because he's homeless. Are they replacing people that are clean, that are not in the ARC?
Yes. 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 Their goal would be to place everyone, no matter their circumstances, to place them. Part of the challenge, as we all know through this process, is lack of housing, permanent housing. That's a challenge that every community has, including ours. But they are working on that, as I was advised by one of our staff members when they called last week, that it doesn't matter the circumstances, it's about the people. And it's about making sure they're cared for, whether they're enrolled in, whether they are in recovery or whether they simply are someone who is in need. This was always, it was always a program for trying to connect people to resources. And it didn't matter if they were in recovery or not. It was a matter of connecting them to resources, because that's always the challenge is advocacy. Who's going to fight for for these folks to help them get connected with the resources they need? And so, no, they're working on placing all of those individuals. Yes, but again, from a formal standpoint, they could not discuss with staff or the residents, and Sherry and I talked this afternoon. I regretted the angst that is created for them, but ARC was in a position not to be able to go to them until this court makes a decision. Questions?
I do want to say something. This is hard, and I hope that if we do get a disagreement, I hope then the next day is back to the drawing board of what do we do now, because my sister-in-law was the first person through Karen's place. My mother-in-law works for ARC. My brother-in-law was one of the first ones through the men's facility down around Moorhead. I know this business, and I know the need. It's just unfortunate of the situation being on this side of the table. I can't just from my heart, because I have a lot of other things to think of. But I hope that you all don't think, well, they don't care and they're not going to do nothing. I think it's back to square one, but it's start finding an answer tomorrow. I agree with that, but I want to say that because I never want to be viewed as somebody that don't care or somebody that don't really. I don't want to be that, but it's just a hard situation of just the other factors around makes this hard.
And I don't think, and Mike, I would say that too. That I don't think that there's no way that it could ever be construed we didn't care, because we wouldn't start this program to begin with if we didn't know that we cared. You're right. You're 100% right.
It's hard. It's hard.
I'm just curious, did you guys attend the meeting prior to our meeting, the city council meeting?
I had never been in this. This is new.
Sherry's just always been a servant, and she was just trying to help folks through the avenues.
No, I'm talking about our city council meeting that was earlier today. I just wondered if you.
I didn't know there was one today. See, I don't know.
I would just like to know their plan, also.
And I think that's where we are.
If they have a plan.
I think that's where we are, Jessica, is I think that this body, presented a plan of which that we were in, agreement with it as a community.
Right.
And so I think us having offered what we thought was the best solution at the time, if that's not the solution that they feel is the best, then I guess they will need to work on
but
whatever
we care.
Whatever
we
they
do
think
care
is
about
best.
these people. We do care about them.
Yeah.
Don't for a second think that we don't care.
And that's why that I talk.
Come up with the plan?
What's that?
Has the city come up with a plan?
Not that I'm aware of, Mike. I haven't communicated with them to know.
Do we have another building somewhere we could start with? I don't know.
That's a great question. I haven't gone down that road because I don't know.
I'm not aware of a building that would fit these parameters.
Yeah. Agree.
You'll be talking about 90 days from today,
Right.
not from January.
No. And that's what Sherry and I were texting about today, is there was a misunderstanding that it was an April 1st hard date, for relocation. And that's unfortunate. It created the angst among the residents and the staff as well. But the agreement, as county attorney can support, affords, once you get past the 1-year anniversary of our agreement, then it's a 90-day notification either direction, by either party, So with that, and I appreciate you all very much. I really do, because again, you guys are not the only ones. Obviously, there was a lot of support for this, and that doesn't mean that we throw up our hands and that none of us care. I guess we have to find a solution that we think is more suitable for us as a community overall. This is a community need that a community has to pull in the same direction. A fractured community is not a healthy community, and we've worked hard to try to have a cohesive community, and continue to do so on the terms to which that we can. I entertain a motion per the agreement with Addiction Recovery Care to terminate the agreement.
Make that motion.
Motion by Commissioner Carroll, is there a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Click. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Next is approval of relocation agreement with Paintsville Utilities and United States Army Corps of Engineers related to the Section 202 project. This is a utility relocation over in the Phase 2 King Edition area. There was a line that has to be relocated. We are a party to this because we are the non-federal sponsor, and this is a reimbursable project with the Corps of Engineers. So we just need approval for this relocation agreement.
Make that motion.
Motion by Commissioner Click. Do we have a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Salyer. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Next is approval to hire a temporary seasonal employee for office clerical. This was, this individual was hired. She has experience with Kentucky State Fire Commission, working in, when the disaster hit, we needed some help. And so we pulled her in to help us manage through the disaster, but I would like approval for her hire for office clerical.
Make that motion.
Motion by Commissioner Click. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Gerald. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Next is the emergency management report. Gary is not able to be with us this evening, but Paul was, I don't know if you've seen the report or not, but is there anything, obviously emergency management has been active, so. But you can see by their, by the activity report, they really put forth a big effort to go out and do these individual assessments once the snowstorm cleared. They've met with FEMA and taken them out and explained to them the importance of this community for us to be included in individual assistance, which has been accomplished. So met with Red Cross, helping set up the shelter, met with the agencies involved now with the, I guess it's officially a DRC now, right? Disaster Recovery Center, or are we still a Recovery Information Center?
Recovery Information Center ended Saturday, but we're in the process of Wednesday. The state and federal will be here to assess that.
Okay. So that's how that folks who have been impacted individually would be able to have conversations with folks and with federal agencies about what they might be eligible for as far as support, correct?
Correct. And everyone worked really good together. All the fire departments, you know, Van Leer, Oil Springs, Graveyard Castle, Paintsville done some water rescues. They've done some evacuations. We had 25 citizens that had to be evacuated or rescued from the residence. 5 animals. Everyone worked together throughout the entire county. RECC, AEP worked really good together. Our line sales crews, different situations. Actually, utilities was always. I don't think they had very large amount of applicants compared to Florida Pike. I mean, they had citizens without, you know, water for babies. Everything went really good. Everybody pulled together.
Yeah.
Mark Reed, you know, Bowl, I mean, just different people. Regina and Gary, they've done it so many times. It was all three of us knew exactly what to do because this is the first time for me on this side.
Yeah.
Usually it's just the fire department, but, you know, county commissioners, everybody worked together. And disaster, churches, loans, Walmart, everybody worked really good together.
Yeah, and we've had so many community partners too with this, besides just staffing and fire departments, but we had community partners as well helping with the point of distribution location out at the plaza. Appreciate the property owners at the plaza allowing us to use that building for that point of distribution. That's been a big help to us again this year. So,
The high school groups.
yeah, had a lot of support. But Paul, I appreciate everything you all did and continue to do because disasters just keep on going. It seems like it's especially once you get into the into the PA and the IA, it just keeps on going. But it's a place we need to be in order to try to maximize the opportunities for us to recover and repair.
And Jerry and I took FEMA around there, and they was able to do a lot of assessments and talk to a lot of people. So
Yeah,
it's good that they're able to help.
I agree. We would entertain a motion to approve the activity report for emergency management.
Make that motion.
Motion by Commissioner Salyers, or second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Click. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? I do want to recognize Ryan Howell is here with Kentucky Power. Appreciate you being here. You all have been a great partner. You are there. We sent you some crazy texts during that disaster to try to help us out. So appreciate the response that Kentucky Power provided as well. So thank you.
You know, we appreciate working with Johnson County and you, Judge. You know, been a great relationship, and you guys have always been there for anything we need and support us, so we're one community together.
Absolutely, yeah. And also two representatives here from Paintsville as well, representing the city of Paintsville also. With that, we do not need executive session this evening, but is there anything from the court? Anything from those in attendance? We'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
Make that motion.
Motion by Commissioner Gerald, or second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Clear. All in favor? Any opposed? We stand adjourned.